I'm Karina Mitchell with your R News Now Rewind. Stories making headlines for the week ending June 11th, 2011. Our top stories include a New York congressman who denied sending a racy tweet to a Seattle co-ed now admits he did it. A new challenger announces his plans to replace Barack Obama in 2012. The NAACP picks sides in a battle over New York charter schools, and the media describes it as civil war in the black community. A London psychologist is fired after writing a controversial article that said black women are less attractive. An actress defends a controversial music video, saying that she tried to shoot her rapist and missed. And the woman who played Bill Cosby's mother on TV passes away. After more than a week of denying he sent a racy picture to a college co-ed on Twitter, Congressman Anthony Weiner not only confesses that he did it, but that it was intended for other women. The 7-term married New York congressman told reporters that he wasn't hacked, as he originally claimed, but that in fact was sending the racy photo to a woman he knew, although it was not intended for Seattle College student Jeanette Cordova, who he says he doesn't know.
This woman was unwittingly dragged into this and bears absolutely no responsibility. I am so sorry to have disrupted her life in this way. To be clear, the picture was of me, and I sent it.
Cordova, who's a 21-year-old college student, has not had a comment about the admission. Meanwhile, Weiner says he will not resign, although there is a chorus of Democrats and Republicans who say he should step down. This week, another Republican put their name into the hat to become the next president of the United States. Former Pennsylvania Senator Rick Santorum announced that he wants the job at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue in 2012.
I'm ready to do what has to be done for the next generation, with the courage to fight for freedom, with the courage to fight for America.
The last time he held office was 5 years ago, right before losing his Senate seat to Democrat Robert Casey. Santorum is considered a social conservative. In New York, the NAACP picked sides in the controversial battle over the funding and location of charter schools in New York.
Don't divide us! Unite us!
The civil rights group says it also seeking to end funding for the specialized private programs in 17 schools. Since most of the successful programs operate in minority neighborhoods, many black and Latino families say the group has picked the wrong side.
Do not prevent our children from getting a high-quality education.
I'm here this morning to tell the NAACP, wrong time, wrong place.
Mainstream media companies have described the battle as civil war in the black community, but in the lawsuit they support with the teachers union. The group says it's speaking for the majority of minority students who can't get into these programs and in some cases are adversely affected by the presence of the charter schools under the same roof. In Cleveland, a trial gets underway in the case of a man accused of killing 11 black women over the course of several years, then burying them in his own backyard, a case in which the suspect was referred to as the Cleveland Strangler. A 51-year-old Anthony Sowell faces 11 counts of murder. Police say he lured women into his home with a promise of alcohol or drugs, then strangled them to death. The case reopens a sore wound in the Cleveland community, as many residents charge that police knew about the serial killings but did not warn residents because the victims were black.
This is a black area. Very low-income people stay here. We do the best we can as far as taking care of our own, but it'll never happen like this if it was in a better neighborhood.
Sowell was also on parole at the time for attempted rape, but the community was not told about that either. In Illinois, a teenage basketball star who was doing all of the right things in life was in the wrong place at the wrong time, and that led to his death. 17-year-old Ryan Royal was shot in the suburb of Linwood last week as he was leaving a Sweet 16 party. Royal heard a commotion, and as he and his friends started to run, he was struck by a bullet and killed. Royal was a junior in high school, getting good grades according to his teachers. He looked forward to playing basketball in college. In your R News Now World Wrap, the daughter of Muammar Gaddafi files a lawsuit against NATO, claiming the international military alliance is trying to assassinate her father with bombing strikes. Aisha Gaddafi filed a lawsuit in Brussels, home of NATO headquarters. She says the agency is guilty of war crimes related to the bombings that started in April. On April 30th, 4 members of her family, including a daughter, brother, and 2 of his children, were killed. Ms. Gaddafi and her mother fled Libya last month to escape the bombing. In Nigeria, a religious sect sets off a bomb near a police station and kills 5 officers. The group called Boko Haram claimed responsibility for the blast, which happened in the northern Nigerian town of Maiduguri. The Islamic sect makes claims of wanting to overthrow the government and has killed dozens of police officers in attacks in the last year. Religious tensions in Nigeria remain high after the losing Islamic contestant in last month's election claims he was cheated by the winner, Goodluck Jonathan, who's from the Christian South. In London, a professor at the London School of Commerce is told his work is no longer welcome at Psychology Today after he wrote a controversial article that said black women are less attractive than other women. Satoshi Kanazawa was fired by the magazine after the article appeared online less than 2 weeks ago. The professor said that black women have more testosterone than other women, and that was the basis of his theory. More than 75,000 people sent angry emails to the magazine, and it was pulled within a few hours. The magazine printed an apology, which said in part, "We have taken measures to ensure that such an incident does not occur again. We're deeply sorry for the hurt that this post has caused." Speaking of international apologies, supermodel Naomi Campbell got one this week after a British candy ad compared her to a bar of chocolate. The Cadbury ad that ran in a UK magazine and in newspapers in Britain last month said, "Move over, Naomi, there's a new diva in town." Although black people often refer to themselves as chocolate, the runaway diva, who's known for her temper, was having none of it. She reached out to the Reverends Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson and asked them to organize a boycott of Cadbury's U.S. parent company, Kraft. Before any march could be mustered, however, Kraft issued a mea culpa, saying that it was not at their intention to offend Naomi, her family, or anybody else. Not clear if the apology was accompanied by cash, but Ms. Campbell says she has accepted the company's apology. And that's your World Wrap. In health news, a survey says that low-income blacks and Latinos buy more bottled water than their white counterparts, believing the product is safer than tap water. The results that appear in the Archive of Pediatric and Adolescent Medicine surveyed 632 people. Blacks and Latinos were 3 times more likely to drink bottled water at home. The study said minorities polled said they felt the water was cleaner, better tasting, and even more convenient than tap water. More than 90% of all bottled water sold in the U.S. is actually purified tap water, not spring or well water. More than 37 billion liters of bottled water is sold in the U.S. annually. In entertainment news, a man files a lawsuit against Patti LaBelle and her security team after he says he was punched in the face for standing too close to her luggage at an airport. Richard King and his attorney released this video from Houston Airport security camera. You see King on a cell phone, and then he moves out of the shot. He can be seen being pushed and thrown to the ground by men who were identified as members of LaBelle's security team. Airport police were called and King was taken to the hospital. The 67-year-old LaBelle can be seen later in the video clip posing with airport police and staff. The lawsuit claims the singing diva ordered the assault on King. Gabrielle Union goes on the record to defend a controversial Rihanna video that shows the singer shooting a depicted rapist in the head. Union, who was herself a victim of rape 19 years ago, watched the Man Down music video and revealed in a tweet, "I tried to shoot my rapist, but I missed." She went on to say, "I realized that killing my rapist would have added insult to injury." Union is an advocate for rape shelters. And finally, Americans came to know her as Bill Cosby's mother in the TV Perfect Family from the 80s. But now, friends, colleagues, and family are mourning the loss of Clarice Taylor, who passed away. Taylor was originally rejected to play Bill Cosby's mother-in-law, but on a second callback, she put on a costume and a performance that left producers and Bill Cosby himself in stitches. Taylor was born in Virginia in 1918 and started her career back in 1969. Her big break came in the Oscar-winning Clint Eastwood movie, Play Misty for Me. She worked on Sesame Street for 5 years and starred in other movies and TV shows, but the role of Anna Huxtable will be her most enduring. Clarice Taylor was 93. For a complete look at any of the stories you've seen on The Rewind, go to the bottom of the website, find the story you want, and click your way through. That's your R News Now Rewind for this week. I'm Karina Mitchell.